Hi guys. So today I'm going to review Coming to America, basically the second film that just came out today. When I uploaded, the first movie, which is a legendary movie, it took a bit of time to upload. It took 2 hours because normally it takes like 5 minutes or less. But yeah, when I uploaded it last night, it went over the time I wanted it to be uploaded. But it's okay, no big deal. But yeah, today I'm going to review the second one. That's I guess took 33 years to make, and it's one of those sequels where is it really going to be good? But after watching it, I'd say it's okay. Yeah, but yeah, for these first 2 minutes, I'm just gonna talk about non-spoilers, just my thoughts of the movie. Then the last 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, because I don't want this to be a long review, just a quick one. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. They was even able to bring back just about all the cast members from the first one, which is surprising. Even some of the minor characters, they brought them back. Yeah. What else can I say? And because if I mention this, I don't know if it's even a spoiler anyway. But we're kind of more in Zamunda than America, so the titles is kind of one. But yeah, I still enjoyed it, and I am happy that I got to see more of Zamunda. Yeah, we do see a different kind of Eddie Murphy in this movie as well, which I'll talk about in spoilers. But yeah, and the kind of new characters that they bring into the movie, like for example, Wesley Snipes, he was entertaining. Yeah, we even get to see someone from Power as well, as who plays as you know, well, Sniper's character's called General Easy, and he has a son who I know from Power. Well, it's played by someone from Power. I mean, yeah, I just forgot his name right now. Yeah, I think it will. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. Like, if you haven't watched Power, then I don't want to spoil that. But yeah, yeah, I definitely enjoyed the sequel anyway. Definitely captured a lot of things that that made the first one a great movie, and it's cool that we got to see more of Zamunda. But yeah, if I was gonna rate this movie, like if you just want to wait in before I talk about spoilers and you don't want to continue on, I'd give it 7 out of 10. Yeah, maybe a bit higher, 7.3. Yeah, I think that's okay of a rating. Yeah, first one's like 10 out of 10, easy. It's just there's a lot of elements from the first one that was missing in the sequel, so I feel like that's a fair rating. Yeah, like there's certain things that I wish they did, and the more in Zamunda, not America. So yeah, but yeah, I guess I'll start talking about spoilers in three, two, one. Well, I guess I'll start from the main plot because from the trailer we kind of know what the main plot's going to be about him going to America to find his lost son because we kind of find out that the bar scene in the first, well, the club scene in the first movie was actually really important, I guess, to set up the story for the sequel. Since basically, like, because that scene where he sees all those women and he didn't really connect with any of them. I think I did mention that scene anyway, but now that it's actually more important, I wish I talked about it more. Because yeah, with the twins and all them, all those girls that he meets, and the one that is dressed like Semmi, which yeah, Semmi gets promoted in this movie, which is cool. Yeah, definitely becomes more of a trusted companion to Eddie Murphy's character, Akeem, which in this movie Akeem becomes a Kane because sadly his father passes away, and it's kind of weird that he has a funeral before he actually dies. Like when the funeral's actually going on, like he actually dies in the funeral when we get to see all these celebrities and stuff. They even tried to do like a dance scene from the first movie, but is that new? They couldn't top it, so they just had a bunch of celebrities like Morgan Freeman and stuff, Salt and Pepper. Yeah, that was a cool scene. But then you get sad when he actually dies, the king. Yeah, I didn't even really mention. I don't think I mentioned in the first movie that it's played by the same actor as Darth Vader. But yeah, the king passes away, and basically Akeem becomes the king. But then before he passed away, the king didn't really think that he was going to be a good leader, and he probably let Zamunda get destroyed. Really, well, not destroyed. Like certain things that would happen that would endanger the civilians of Zamunda. With General Easy and his demands, and if Akeem doesn't follow him, there could be some consequences. So yeah, like the dad was worried what would happen because Akeem was always like a more polite and positive person where, his dad was the king, so he had to be more hard on, his son and on the people of Zamunda. Otherwise people just walk all over him. And that's why he wanted, like, in one of his dying wishes was to find his son. And Akeem had no idea about his son. He kind of finds out from some Allseer or something. Yeah, it's kind of funny when Easy calls him like a granny or something. Yeah, kind of looks like a granny, but it's Eddie Murphy playing as another character, because we kind of get to see that again, like seeing him play as other characters, which is cool. Yeah, and then this is when he decides to go to America to find his lost son, because I guess what was going to happen with General Easy is that he was going to make one of his sons, who's played by the power actor, to be with, I guess, one of his kids, which, like in this movie, Akeem has like three daughters at this point with Lisa, and one of them's called Mika, Lisa's sister, named after Lisa's sister. I wonder what happened to her, because we don't really get a mentioning of her character, even though one of the most important daughter of Akeem is named after Lisa's sister. So yeah, I'm surprised she didn't really get a mention, because we even get to see Lisa's dad again as well, and he's still got McDowell going strong. He's the king of McDowell. Yeah, so that's cool. And there's like a later scene in the movie where Akeem's looking for guidance, and he's kind of there for him. And they kind of relate with each other, since he finds out that, well, he's already had children, but with the son and everything, like things just get a bit crazy as the movie goes on for him. And how things have changed. Yeah. But I guess I'll just continue from where the main story starts, where he goes to America. Basically goes back to America 33 years later. Well, 30, should I say? Yeah, 30, because that's when Lisa came to Zamunda and they got married and stuff. So yeah. So I guess in their timeline it's 30 years, but for us it's 33 years. Because this came out in 2021, and I'm not sure if it would have came out in 2020. That still would have been like 32 years. Yeah. And he basically goes to find his son, but first he kind of notices that everything's changed, but then Semmi notices that there's one place that hasn't changed, and that's the barber shop, and then that's when we see those funny characters again. Yeah, and they're still talking about boxes and stuff, like the latest boxes around now. Yeah. Yeah, that was a funny scene. And then he eventually does find his son, like really quickly. Yeah, but I kind of brushed a bit off the club scene from the first movie, because that is an important scene to set up the movie. Since basically he actually met the first person he actually, well, Eddie Murphy was, well, not Eddie Murphy, Akeem was with, because we was all thinking that the only person he was with was Lisa, but before he met Lisa, he actually, like in the club, like Semmi kind of got some girls, and I don't know how Akeem forgot this. Was he like drunk or something? He kind of got with someone who was basically, oh, I have to say, a hoe, and he doesn't even realize that he actually was with her. Yeah, and then that's basically how the kid came about, how he had a son, because up until this point he only had daughters, so there was no true heir, because I guess there was like a law that like his daughters could have become queens. So he had to go find his son when he finds out that he exists, because he had no idea. And then he does eventually find him, because I think the son, is it Dewell? I don't know. Is it Devel? Uh, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, because this is the first time I'm watching the movie. So yeah, a few things will be a bit blurry at first, but when I watch it a few times, yeah. But I think it's Devel. He basically goes for a job. He's at that time of his life where he's looking for a job, and he kind of feels like this person's kind of stereotyping him, just because he only had a mother. Because Akeem didn't even know that his son existed. And then he was kind of saying to the person who's supposed to be employing him that he probably had everything handed to him, and saying that to your boss who's supposed to be employing you wasn't really a good idea. But I guess he didn't want to be with someone who's just viewing him in that way. So he feels like he's just getting like charity. So he kind of finds something else to do, I guess. And then that's when, Akeem finds him and tells him that he's the heir to Zamunda, that he's going to be the prince, because at this point, Eddie Murphy's king. And it's already gone past 10 minutes, as I can see on my phone, so I don't know how long this is going to go on for. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. And then, that's when they go to the family. They bring them to Zamunda because, the son doesn't want to leave his family behind because they're the ones who raised him. Yeah. And then we actually go back to Zamunda very early, like very, very early, because it was kind of like I was thinking like it was gonna spend like 20 to 25 minutes in Zamunda. Then most of the movie will be in America, in Queens, since that's where the first movie was set, and that's where we go back to. But it was actually not there for long. We're only in New York, Queens for like I'd say 2 times in the movie, but very short though. Like we're mostly in Zamunda in this movie, and it kind of gives an interesting viewpoint. Yeah, but yeah, basically he goes back to Akeem takes his son back to Zamunda. Also, I didn't really talk much about Lisa because she doesn't really get much screen time at first until like the most important things come up. Because in this movie, Akeem isn't really his true self like he was in the original movie. He just like there's certain things that he would have paid attention to that he didn't really in this movie, especially when it comes to free will and finding true love. Like he kind of didn't really see that in this movie. He's kind of thinking more like his father from the first movie, like the way how he acted. Yeah, because it's like everything that his mother ever said to him, it seems like that's kind of gone away. Possibly when the father, I mean, when the mother passed away. Yeah, so he kind of took more from his father instead of his mother. Because you can kind of tell that the person that he was in the first movie is mainly because of his mother. But when she passed away, he became a bit more like his father. And he still like that Kim that we know and love was still there, but he kind of took more to his father's ways. Yeah, because he even didn't. Because there's some things that kind of go from like legacy from previous rulers. Like it's kind of like he accepted that instead of trying to go against it. Even when he is king, like he doesn't even decide to change it. And maybe it's because if you think about it, it is his father. He just lost him and stuff, and like that kind of thing isn't really going to come to his mind straight away. Yeah, so it is understandable because he'd feel like he'd be betraying his father to just do something like that straight away. So I guess I understand that, but yeah. But then like his daughter Mika has kind of been training to be queen all her life, and then like she just gets denied it, and someone. Well, they basically call the son from Queens a bastard, basically. They say it several times in the movie because he wasn't really born in Zamunda. Yeah, that he's becoming, he's going to be the future king and a prince instead of, the daughter. So she has a problem with that through a bit of the movie until, she meets him and actually interacts with him. Oh, I didn't really talk much about General Easy, yeah. Because since he wasn't able to get his son to be married to one of the daughters, he decides to, I guess, use his I guess his daughter. Yeah. And also we kind of find out that, the I guess he had a sister, and that same sister is the one who was actually gonna be Akeem's wife in the first movie. That one who acts like a puppet and just listens to whatever, Akeem says. So that's one of the characters that actually returns. She's still going woof woof. Still doing that after all these years. That's kinda messed up. Damn. Yeah, and then when there's a scene when, um is it Deval? I still don't know if I'm saying his name right. Basically, Akeem's son. There's a moment when he's interacting with his wife, who basically is the same as the mother. She basically does the same thing when when the son asks the same questions. It's kind of basically the same, and he gets to a point where he tells her to stay somewhere because there's also this girl who he kind of loves more than this person who he can't really interact with. And he actually goes to further more steps than Akeem ever did. Like he literally was ready to give up everything, like because he was given this opportunity to be a prince, but then he decides to not want it and actually be with someone that he actually loves, who he meets in Zamunda. basically someone who was guiding him when he just felt like he didn't really belong in Zamunda because he's from Queens, like a completely different place, and then coming to Zamunda and then doing all these tests, which he kind of has to get like a hit of a lion, and man, that's crazy. And then that scene with the test of courage scene, basically, even though they're kind of both test of courage, but the scene, if you know what I'm talking about, when you've watched the movie, yeah, you know which one I mean. But yeah, he kind of got through that because that woman who cut his hair basically believed that he could do it, even though he's not from around here. That's kind of the person that he bonded with in the movie. Yeah, so he kind of fell in love with her, and when they couldn't be together, he decided to go back to America, and then that's when Eddie Murphy's character goes back. Well, Akeem basically goes back to America to get him, and then something happens when General Easy comes, making more demands, but the king's not even there, so then he tries to take the daughter hostage, but Mika, she can fight back because there's a scene early where we get to see all of his daughters fighting Akeem, which is cool. They're all trained to fight because Mika kind of gets overpowered eventually, even though she does put up a good fight. She kind of reminds me of like a Shuri, but coming to America version. Yeah, and the little daughters, yeah, they're cool too. Yeah, especially the little one. Yeah, they kind of help her and defeat General Easy, and they kind of work things out later on when the king comes back with his son, because basically at the end, I guess he tries to get married so nothing can stop him, and we kind of see that priest from the first movie again. Yeah, that pervert priest, I guess. But then I guess the father comes in time. Akeem comes in time to stop the wedding. But then they kind of have a discussion and kind of work things out because he wants to marry the person that he actually loves. And this is when Lisa kind of had like a problem with it, and when I started to go more on her side because I don't know, like from the beginning, I wasn't really a big fan of Lisa and some of the things she was saying, but later in the movie, you kind of think like, yeah, Kim isn't really himself, and some of the things that he would have agreed to, he doesn't in this movie, and he isn't really his like true self until like the final moments of the movie. Yeah, because yeah, like Lisa's kind of a bit upset with him with the way how Akeem's kind of acting. He's kind of acting more like his father a bit, which I've said that a few times now. Because he kind of is like some of the things, like some of the traditions that he was against in the first movie. He's kind of following it more in the second one. But yeah, man, this review's gone on too long already. Just 2 more minutes, then I'm gonna end it because that's long enough. Yeah, because I don't know how long my One Division review is gonna be, but yeah. He basically brings back to Zamunda because they kind of work things out, and he kind of wants to be with the person that he actually loves, and they kind of work that out. And he kind of makes things up with Lisa because they had an argument, but he kind of sees things in Lisa's way and what his mother wanted for him. Yeah, and I guess that's how it ends. Everyone like he even makes up things with General Easy. They kind of negotiate and work things out. Yep, and then it's just party at the end. We get to see the people who sing the "We Are Family" song and "Sexual Chocolate." That ending, lol. Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie. Definitely a good sequel, but was it necessary? No, but it wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. I could see myself watching it again, but I'm probably gonna watch Coming to America, the first one, more. Yeah, that's just way more of an enjoyable movie. Just the way how they did the America setting, like mainly being America, I prefer that. But seeing Zamunda, actually getting to proper see it, was cool. We also get to see the elephant again from the first movie. Yeah, that was cool when we saw the elephant like all grown. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, it was a good sequel. Just I don't know. Maybe I was expecting more for some reason, but yeah, I'm just happy that I liked it. That's all that I wanted. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. I really hope you enjoyed my review of Coming to America 2. I'm gonna I'm gonna be reviewing. I need to watch One Division first, and then I'm gonna be reviewing it. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.